Thank you so much for coming to our Caregivers Embracing Elder Care show. We are here with season 2 and episode 3. I am joined by my co-host, my lovely co-host, Robin Downs, and her father, Sergeant Major William Downs. And we have a guest today, Mr. Dwayne Adway. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. I'm excited to have you. I just want to kind of tell everybody a little bit of housekeeping, just what everybody's doing and how this goes if you're new to our channel. So Robin and I usually start by putting together she puts together the meditation, I follow, and then we go into a little bit of Q&A about caregiving. But today we have a guest. So Dwayne, you'll be talking to us about caregiving for a loved one with Alzheimer's and dementia. And I'm so appreciative to have you here.
Thank
Robin,
you for having me.
Thank you. Robin, I'll hand it over to you and Sergeant Major.
Yes. So just to set the tone, and once again, welcoming Dwayne, who's one of my Yoga Flavor players from, what did he say, back in the day? So just to set the tone, it's really about respect. So even in putting this segment together, I just so admire the way Dwayne respects his mother's dignity and how we present this whole thing. So I just want to take a moment to connect with our breath and center ourselves as we continue on. So let's just place our palms on our lower belly for deep diaphragmatic breathing. You can close your eyes and then just inhale and allow the belly to swell like a balloon, full belly breath. And then exhale, really pull the belly button back towards the spine and up towards the heart. Going again, inhale, full belly breath. Exhale fully. Continue to breathe deeply. And I just wanted to read a little inspiration from Meditation for Caregivers that AARP puts out. So just continue to inhale fully, exhale fully. When with compassion and humility, we truly respect other people, we can then better serve them and, in turn, ourselves. Understanding and accepting their needs, struggles, and strengths. And witnesses allow us to most fully appreciate their efforts, pain, and love. When we allow our loved ones to maintain their dignity, we perceive them most completely. This can only bring us closer to them and increase our sense of self-respect. The spirit in me honors the spirit in you.
Thank you, Robin. That's always so centering. That's perfect. See what I was saying? It just kind of flows and we just set all into our caregiving talks. So
I felt like I wanted to light some incense.
I know.
I mean, you know.
Do that too. You can do that too.
It's the relaxation. Robin, that was perfect. And I'm so glad that you and Sergeant Major are here with us today. I wanted to kind of give you a minute to just introduce Dwayne, because I know he's new to our channel and anybody who's kind of been poking around may not know him and what he's done. And since you guys are close friends, I think you should do the honors.
Well, thank you so much. And Dwayne is my friend and he has a lot of accolades. And I would like Dwayne to let everybody know who you are.
I'm just a thespian.
Okay. All right.
I'm an actor. I've done a television film. I'm most known for the role of Dennis Rodman's Story, which was an ABC television movie back in, And then I did a film called Into the Blue with Paul Walker and Jessica Alba. Did a movie called Soul Plane with Snoop Dogg, and a lot of TV, a lot of other films that I've done. So I'll just leave it there. I'm humble.
I hear you. Humble, being humble is sometimes underrated. Yes. But as it relates to us today, I want you to kind of tell us what brought you to the caregiving space, because here we're about embracing the caregiver journey, right? And it kind of shows up at different moments in our life. So when Robin told me about the fact that you were caring for a loved one who needed not only kind of like full-time care, but really like you there advocating, I thought you were the perfect person to bring on board. So tell us, how long you've been caring and anything about the caregiving circle or the caregiving journey that surprised you.
Well, I've been a caretaker for my mom since 2015. And it's interesting you say how I found it, but it found me, because circumstances and situations happen in our lives. And sometimes we just have to step up to the plate. And one thing I made a promise to my mom is that, I would take care of her. I wouldn't put her in a home. And as long as I can manage the care for her. And I've been able to do that with a lot of resources that have been given to me and a lot of prayer. It's one of those things where it's just like life. When life brings you lemon, you make lemonade.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And it goes with the word that honor thy mother. And it's our responsibility to take care of our elders as we get older, as our elders took care of us when we were young.
Sure.
So it's just returning the favor. And on this journey, it's just like, it's no blueprint for it.
Right.
I jumped in, I was like, I'm Superman, I'm going to take care of my mom. And, I got this, and then I learned on the journey that, like, it's not a bad thing to ask for help when you need help. And first of all, I had to understand what dementia was, what Alzheimer's is, in order to effectively do what I needed to do for my mother. So I had to educate myself about the disease.
Yeah.
And along the way, I just learned that, it's okay to ask for help.
Right.
It's okay to reach out, and the Alzheimer's LA organization was very instrumental with giving me some resources to advocate, helping me take care of my mother.
That's awesome. And I was actually going to ask you, so I'm in LA and Robin's in New York and you're in LA. And so, I mean, that just kind of goes to show in terms of the broad spectrum of where people are and how we kind of, the Alzheimer's Association in particular, how they have really supported people and families and caregivers who are really dealing with this on a day-to-day basis. So I wanted to know if you could tell us a little bit about your work with Alzheimer's LA. I know that that's a very near and dear organization to you, and to me as well. But what have they been doing within the community that you're particularly proud of, if anything?
Well, how I got involved with Alzheimer's LA is because, like I said, they were brought to me as a resource,
right,
for me to help me navigate through certain situations. And then I sat down with the organization and they told me, look, there is a mishap with the African-American community not being informed about these diseases. And they wanted me to reach out, to use my likeness, to reach out to the African-American community to bring light on Alzheimer's dementia.
Right.
And I said, okay, I'm all for it, because in our community, the history of our community is one that, we're resilient people, but we're prideful people. And, we just get up, we just put it together and we make it work. That's how we do. But a part of that is understanding how the disease is affecting our communities, right, and it takes information to, to inform each other, to embrace each other, to navigate through, the difficulties in, trying to be caretakers, helping family members.
Yep, the support.
The support system.
Yeah.
Developing a support system. Yeah.
Definitely. I think I can agree with you there. Robin, how do you think that?
Well, I just remember even we had some conversations how you would talk about wanting to, your will, to share your will with your mother when your mother needed that extra oomph that you would just do what you could to give your will into your mother so that her will would get stronger. I remember you using those words.
Yeah. With that, you know, like I willed my mother to become better.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when this disease strikes, and you know, my mom, she got onset dementia after a stroke. She was relatively young.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when you're not able to, fiercely independent woman, fiercely independent,
Mm-hmm.
when you can't do what you're used to doing independently on your own, disease like this can really take over.
Right.
You know, and her being around my will, her experiencing and being around my energy for her to want to get better and do more,
Mm-hmm.
that allow her to wake up every day and be optimistic about what's to come,
Right.
you know, and being sensitive to the challenges, because
Mm-hmm.
some days are not going to be good, but those days we get up, we get the moving, we get the machine moving. You know, we get in the streets. My mom loves to get in the streets. My mom loves to get in the streets.
So does Dad. You look
Yeah.
at socialize,
Tell them
right?
about
Yeah.
the socialization.
You
Socialize.
know, they need that socialization, right? And then at one point I just realized that respite is very important,
Sure.
because like you can't do it by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have, you know, a great support system from a great distance, relatives and stuff like that, you gotta get help. Have
Yeah.
people come in, because for me and my mom, it was important for her to have that feminine energy that I couldn't give her.
Sure.
You know, that a caretaker could give her.
Right.
You know, through companionship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that was important for me.
Do you think that the respite was considered part of your self-care? That was my follow-up question, in terms of like, you know, just being a full-time caregiver basically obviously has its own stresses, its own kind of, you know, monotony that you want to at some point break through. And self-care is like the new tagline, right? Or the buzzword. So I was curious, it sounds like respite is part of your self-care. Am I correct? And then if there's anything else that you do in addition to that kind of practice.
Well, I didn't realize that what self-care was. Like I said, you know, us as African American people, we just pick it up, you know, make it happen and get it moving.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
even though you had a yoga practice, and I know you take good care of your fitness, so just thinking about self-care in terms of being a caregiver, it didn't connect?
No, you know, like, to be honest, you know, like when my mom got sick, I just, you know, hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get her better. I got to make her better. I got to be there for her. I got to give her what she needs when she needs it, you know. And then I later on incorporated self-care, because I realized that it was overwhelming. So, you know, I've always been athletic, and then I've always worked out in the gym and did yoga and Pilates and things like that as an actor, just to kind of keep the mentals going, right? So then I incorporated that into what I was doing now, you know? And what I found is it's just, they mesh together all of a sudden. So I just pick my time. Okay, so mom sleeps these hours. So I'm going to block out a certain percentage of time in the morning where I can go to the gym.
Nice. Very good.
You know? And incorporating that with a healthy diet. You know, like my diet reflects on her diet.
Sure.
So what I eat is what she eats.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, she didn't have the healthiest diet before she got sick, you know? So now she eats green vegetables and things like that, drinks a lot of water, and, you know, and cut back on the sugar. I mean, an example of that is my mom is diabetic and has been diabetic since 2000. And through managing her diabetes, now it's regulated because of the diet and because of the exercise.
Yep.
You know, just yesterday we was out at the mall, you know, because I take her to the mall so she can get some exercise, you know, walk around. She got things to see, people around, people to be around. And I just noticed that, like that's real important to have instead of just like going outside and walking. Getting her in an environment where in which she would be in that environment if she was okay.
Sure.
So she feels like a part of the community. She don't feel left out.
I just want to take a second to say something. We've got some comments here. So we've got a few people watching. We've got Anthony who says amen to all of this. So I think, Anthony can agree with what we're talking about, especially when it comes to the respite care. And Barbara, she says, I didn't have respite care for my mother either. Once she died, I found out how important it would be to have and how important it would have helped our relationship. That's a huge, huge thing, Barbara. I think that's another part of just caregiving in terms of the relationship between the caregiver and the caregiver recipient, right? Or the caregivee is, taking care of yourself. That self-care, that buzzword, if you will, largely reflects on how not only you show up in your caregiver journey, but the relationship that you have with your loved one. Because, I think Robin talks about this a lot, where you kind of go into the mode of making sure all these things are done, that you don't have the time to look at what they're doing to you, what all this kind of everyday bustle is doing to you. So that's where the stresses come in. I really, really like your care regimen because it incorporates everything. And the yoga, I think, is a huge piece because mental health is my thing. So
absolutely.
Right.
But with respite, let me touch on respite. I, through the Alzheimer's of LA Association, I was directed to the Department of Aging.
Mm-hmm.
And the Department of Aging is, they're an organization that pretty much puts you in touch with whatever you need as a caretaker. If it's respite care, if it's food services, whatever you need, the gamut. And then I found that they were able to direct me to different respite programs in the state of California. And it's like I said, it all goes back to information. Being a caretaker, your responsibility is to get as much information as you can, even if that's some of that information is something that you won't need, but maybe someone else that's a caretaker can use that information. So sharing, you got to share it.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. Yep. That's why we created this channel, right? We want to make sure that this is a resource space. We have a couple other caregivers saying, that I am the full-time, I'm now caring for my mom. This is Anthony saying that he's trying to manage everything and applauds us. So yes, and we applaud you guys. I think that's the big silver lining, as you will, is that this is a huge effort, but everybody needs a pat on the back. They need a congratulations because this is hard. This is not easy.
I definitely say that, like I equate it to be like the latter rain. As the word says, it's like you have the former rain and then the latter rain. The former rain is the opportunity for you to do as many selfish things as you want to. And the latter rain is all about selflessness.
Right.
And advocating that through service, and caretaking is no different than any other service than doing something from some organization or charitable organization.
Right.
And it's just like you have to put yourself in this space of it's not about me. I'm just a vessel. I'm just doing the work that I was supposed to do, that I was put here to do. And then you will find strength. Because when you're doing what God has put you here to do, then he blesses your life abundantly so. And he brings to you people who will support you that you never thought or imagined will support you.
Speaking of support, are there any tools or resources that you would suggest to anybody facing these issues? Because I think everybody kind of has their own go-to, and we can draw from all of the community as a support and spiritually and just, within that level. But I like to talk about the practical, tactical things because I think that doesn't get as widely talked about. And I just wonder, are there any tools that you found like that, oh my God, if without this, you wouldn't have been able to do this?
Well, I think the first thing was being transparent, because
Mhm.
transparency brings out the flock,
Mhm.
because they say, oh, I didn't know, I'm going through the same thing.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden you having dialogue with a community of people that are going through the same things you are. And then there's also support groups,
Right.
where you can attend, and they educate you about the disease and help you get through what you're going through. But it's just like you have to be transparent about it, without, being like what can I say? Invasive
Right.
to the person going through it.
That
You know?
respect.
Yes.
Respect, exactly.
Yes.
But it's a one thing to respect, and it's another thing to use your testimony to help someone else
Sure.
who's struggling.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
agree. Yeah. For sure. The honor and dignity is a big piece, especially within the dementia and Alzheimer's world, right? I think, and you can tell me how you feel, Robin and Dwayne, in terms of how you two are caring for your parents. There's an element of wanting to make sure that people remember everything that they were and who they are now, and there not be a difference or a change between the two. Because I think sometimes people say that, we want to be remembered at our best spaces. And sometimes with dementia and Alzheimer's, that isn't always the case, right? So I think you guys can maybe help me
Well,
or
for
help
me,
our audience.
it's always the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes at the end of the day, my father's like, what happened? And then when I show him the pictures, he's like, oh, right. Okay. So for me, it's pictures and doing my best to document an outing so that when we do come back, there's pictures.
nice.
That's a cool one. That's a cool tool.
To me, it's been music.
Ah,
Oh, music too. Yeah, you're right.
I find that, like mom and music, it's just like it ignites something.
Yep.
It ignites memories,
Mhm.
and we'll be driving, or we'll hear something, a song, and she'll be like bobbing her head, and she's like, yeah, like it's taking her somewhere.
Sure.
It's true.
There's a close relationship. I think the Alive Inside documentary.
Exactly. I was trying to think the name of it.
Yes, Alive Inside is a great documentary for those of you who are watching who haven't heard about it and are affected by someone with, living with Alzheimer's or dementia. Alive Inside is a great resource for you to really get an understanding into how dementia kind of affects everybody differently, and where you can kind of still see and jump into their lives, their personalities through these different means. Music in this particular instance, it's so amazing to see someone go from not really communicating or engaging, and then when they hear their favorite song from back in the day, they completely light up, right? Or it just changes their mood, and I think it
takes them back there.
And it helps with the behaviors as well. I think a lot of people should know that too, in terms of what happens and how they kind of go throughout their day. We try to create a calm environment.
Yes.
Yeah, what I've incorporated also with music is a dance. So,
ooh, yes,
okay. People like, get into it, and I'm like, yeah, ma, we dance, we groove, and it just takes her to a space.
Yeah,
and it's great for her.
For sure. Well, we're almost wrapping up at our time. I had one more question, just in terms of, because we've discussed so much, right? But I wondered if there was a silver lining, because this is something that Robin and I have been talking about for, months now. We talk about silver hair and elder care, and we talk about a silver lining with all of our guests in terms of their caregiving journey and their path. So I wondered if there was something that you could either tell people who are in your situation, or something that maybe you walked away with, whatever your silver lining would be. What do you think it would be?
I think it will be selflessness, selflessness, and, realizing that we're all put here to serve.
Right.
using whatever platform that you have evolved in is not for your gain. It's for you to use that platform to help others and be of service.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sergeant Major, I didn't talk to you too much today. I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to add. Did I miss anything?
I'm happy to hear from you.
Oh, I am too. I'm so happy to hear from you. And Dwayne, is there anything that you wanted to share with the audience about new projects or anything that you have in the works? I'm so honored that you're here and just blessed us with your presence.
It's funny because it's just like, like you have your career and you have this.
Yes, real life. Yes.
But life happens. But, I've been fortunate enough to be able to do a lot of work in voiceovers.
Oh, nice.
Our industry was shut down because of the pandemic, so there wasn't a lot of work to be had in front of the camera. But I was able to, do a lot of work on voiceovers and stuff like that.
Awesome.
I'm looking at now, I'm very involved in pilot season out here in California and everything like that. So wish me luck. Hopefully I'll get on the show.
We do.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
And it will line up with my responsibilities with my mom and taking care of my mom. But nonetheless, I'm blessed. I have a blessed life.
Yes. We are going to stay tuned for your next project. I have a feeling it's coming up soon. All right, guys. I think that brings us to the end of our day. Robin, did I miss anything? Check the checker, please.
Not that I could think of. I'm just so happy that we're all able to get together. And Dwayne, just know you got a support team with us.
Thank you.
Hopefully in the future we'll get together again and catch up and continue to be of support because we're caregivers embracing elder care.
Yes. Last but not least, I want to thank all of our viewers who came in, who hung out with us. Barbara, I know you came in late, but you'll catch it on replay. It'll be up on all of our sites. And it will stay up in the Caregivers Embracing Elder Care group. So with that said, guys, until next time, I want you to
do it in love.
Yes, I want you to continue to take that elder care. All right, guys, thank you so much.
All right, thank you for having me.
We'll see you next week or next month. Sorry. Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.